opportunities that you've offered the people of Kenya recently is M-Shwari. How does that feel in the broader context of things of Naweza?
M-Shwari was designed as something which will enable and empower Kenyans, because we don't have a savings culture in Kenya, and it's important that we start to do that. And so it's fantastic that now we have about 2.5 million customers who have now signed up to it. We have taken about just 2.5 billion shillings, which is coming out from the lock boxes and the mattresses, and is now coming into an account which is earning interest for customers. So if we can start to get that culture of savings, it will really, really enrich and empower our customers.
If I may ask, what's the investment that has gone into this advertisement, and how long do you see it being in the market? Nico, you said was for 3 years. What about this?
Well, Nico was about 3 years. This one, I think we'll see how long it takes. It will certainly be, a year or two, and we'll check the relevance and make sure that it continues to be relevant. But the market moves, and this is an industry which moves on very, very quickly. So we need to make sure that the ad remains relevant to our customers. And in terms of the cost, it was certainly cheaper than the last one.
And that would be how many shillings?
A few shillings cheaper than the last one.
And how much was the last one?
I can't remember.
Thing that you are likely to unveil that will tie with the jubilee of the country, seeing as Safaricom has constantly positioned itself as a Kenyan product, selling Kenya, and we are celebrating 50 years. I know you're not 50 years old, however, you're going to be in the next 50, aren't you?
I don't look like I'm 50. That's mainly because I'm older than 50.
51 maybe?
Do we really want to talk about my age? I'm younger than I look. What do we have in store for 50 years? I think we don't have any kind of big bangs. We continue to innovate, and we continue to innovate in a way which is relevant to customers. So we really try to go get deep insight of our customer needs, and if we can do that, then we do things like M-Shwari, we do things like M-Kopa. M-Kopa is a fantastic product, I don't know if you've seen it. We do things like Jahazi, that's all driven by customer needs. So in terms of our relevance in the 50th anniversary, we hope that we will continue to be as relevant as we have done in the last 10 years.
So who's your biggest competitor? Is it Equity Bank or the other telcos?
The world is such now that you can't just categorize a competitor like that. You compete with some people, and the same people you could be collaborating with. So I'll give you an example. My friend Joshua Chapuni is here, and so Joshua provides us with fiber, but he also competes with us in providing fiber to some customers. So sometimes you compete. Equity is one of our biggest customers, and I believe that we're also one of their biggest customers. So we work well together.
May I ask you a question outside of this event? Okay. With the new tax regime, are you confident enough that your M-Pesa client will still be your M-Pesa client? Will they be affected? Will they feel that now it's more expensive to send money? What felt like a service that was helping them becomes an expense to them. And how are you looking at that? I'm just trying to get a Wananchi feel and how you're dealing with that situation.
Well, Wananchi feel for this is that, what we did is, if you look at the transactions below 1,000 shillings, we kept the charge the same. And actually we reduced those charges last year. So we want to make sure that it still is affordable. But what's really important is the convenience that M-Pesa offers. So now I think we have about 55,000 agents that you can go and withdraw your money or deposit your money. And we think that that's really important for customers, and we continue to invest in it.
Okay, going back to the TVC, at the end of the TVC, we still see the Nikon Safaricom tagline. So, what can you comment about that? Has it become a permanent part of Safaricom branding, or was it too strong to not be able to get rid of at the moment? Or
in the 2 years or so that I've been here, when people meet me in the streets and they say hi, Bob, and they might comment on the network or M-Pesa or something, and I say, who are you with? And they always say Nikon and Safaricom. So it's not our words, it's the customer's words. And often when people you say to people, what's your phone number? They say, me, I'm with Safaricom, and my number is. And so why would you change that? That's not our strategy, it's the customer's.
So it still remains in the background at the.
Absolutely.
Okay.